Hi there. Welcome to this week's episode of Talking with Jonny. This is our question and answer show where you guys leave comments on this video and I'll answer them next week. Meaning this week, I'm going to answer your questions from last week. Just got back from Pebble Beach. Wearing the hat because I just cleaned out the BMW M5 that I drove up there that just got picked up. And I said, why not? It's a video. Do something interesting. Very hot today in Southern California, unlike Monterey, where it was like a perfect 66 degrees basically all weekend long, except for Sunday when it was a little hot but beautiful and no clouds and the cars looked incredible. Lots of people. Drew Koblitz, calling you out by name. Before Car Week started, they were kind of like, oh, I'm not going this year. It's too expensive. They're too greedy. Wah, wah, wah. I don't like traffic. And they're insane. This was the best Car Week in memory. It's my 15th year going. The only reason it's not 16 is because COVID shut it down in 2020. And it was just spectacular. Cars were out of control. Brief recap, Motorlux was great, although if anyone from Haggerty is listening, like, kill the DJs. Why was there concert volume music at a dinner and like walk around and look at cars show? You want to talk to people. It was insane. It was way too loud. Yes, I'm too old, but it was also too loud. But it was a lot of fun. It was cool. I'm sure you heard about it, but Mr. Farah drove his Myers-Manx radial engine dune buggy. He drove it. He actually towed it up to Pebble on the back of a Bentley. It's like a Bentayga something or other. And he pulled the whole rig in and displayed it at Motorlux. And that was pretty cool. It's nice to see your good friends do something really cool like that. After Motorlux Thursday, I think I just ran around and picked up credentials. It was insane. I got a parking pass for Sunday, which if you've ever tried to get to Pebble Beach, it was the score of the weekend. Yeah, I don't remember Thursday. Friday was the Quail. Obviously, the Quail was insane. It's become the most important supercar car show in the world. This is where the manufacturers go to debut new supercars. Lamborghini did it. Gordon Murray Automotive did it. Lexus kind of did it. And we'll get to that in a second. A lot of questions from last week. I'm going to rush through this Pebble intro. Quail was great. It was just super fun, super good times. It's one of those shows where, like, I know, like, I don't know, it feels like a quarter of the people in attendance. So it's just everywhere you turn around, it's a good time. And if you don't know anybody, the cars are insane. They had like 18 Ferrari F50s. It's just absolute madness. And the food's good. It's the champagne, the ice cream's good. Lots of lemonade. It was a perfect car day. Saturday was like the most busy day of my life. We started off, we did the Spike's Car Radio Pebble Beach Forum thing. Mr. Seinfeld showed up. Farrah was there, Zuckerman was there, Spike was there, did that. Then I rushed over to Laguna Seca because Mercedes asked me if I would like to drive the Mercedes McLaren SLR Sterling Moss. So that's the SLR with no windscreen. So drive that for a couple laps around Laguna Seca, which I did, which was fun. And then ride in a W196 Silver Arrow. This was chassis number 2, which is just going insane. Check my Instagram, at Jonny Lieberman. Check my Instagram. You can see pictures of all this stuff. And I'm going to figure out a way to, like, get images here and display them on the screen you're watching. But, I'm 2 months and 2 weeks into this whole thing. So bear with me. And I'm old, as I mentioned. And I got to ride around Laguna Seca in that. And, I don't know why I have such good fortune, but I was actually able to drive W194. So that's one of the 10 original gull-wing race cars Mercedes built in 1952. I was able to drive chassis number 2, and now I've ridden in number 2 of W196, which it was really emotional. Very special car. If you're not familiar with the Silver Arrows, the post-war Silver Arrows, Google them. The most expensive car ever sold was an Uhlenau Coupe, which was the same chassis, two-seater configuration, I should say. Sold for $140 million. There's only 2 of them ever made. And yeah, it was just, as a car geek, it was really, really cool. Then I went and I drove a Roof Tribute. So this is a, oh boy, air-cooled 3.6 liter twin turbo, 7-speed manual, rear drive, carbon tub, carbon body, Roof. It's worth, or they're going to charge like $2 million for it. It's probably worth it. It's absolutely insane. So good to drive. Just wonderful. That was fun. Then I got to go and host a design panel. So Zenvo Automotive, they built a little village with a bunch of Airstreams that people could stay in. It was really smart because like the Hyatt, which is it's a motel, you drive your car up to your room. The Hyatt was charging $1,200 per night. With Zenvo, you had this beautiful house, which you could you had access to, but then they had like 20 Airstreams, and including food, and I think the Airstreams were cleaned every day for $5,500 for the week. So it's kind of a really good deal. Anyways, they had a stage, and I hosted a design discussion with a bunch of car designers. I'm not remembering all the last names. But it was from Rule, it's the Mexican supercar manufacturer, Guillermo, Sasha Selivnikov, who, Nilu, he also designed the Chiron and the Urcon and a bunch of Koenigsegg's, guy from Karma, Alex from McLaren, and the guy from Zenvo. Oh my God, he's really tall. Anyhow, it was so much fun. I want to do it again next year. Hopefully it becomes a tradition. We had a bigger audience. It was really good. It was just really, really fun. And we got into the discussion. What's the difference between a sports car, a supercar, and a hypercar? That was fun. And then I kind of went way too hard that night, drinking whiskey and smoking cigars with the boys. Sasha and Jens and Sasha's lovely wife and another guy. And so I kind of didn't get out of bed on time on Sunday. And the Concours itself is still the best day. The Quail's nice. Festival of Speed was just there. It's great. Amelia Island, phenomenal. Moda, all the car shows in the world are great. There's nothing like Sunday at Pebble Beach on the 18th hole. Concours d'Elegance is just the greatest show in the world. Period. All right. Enough about that. Let's see. Anything interesting? Oh, yes, watches. So here's the first watch I ever designed, and this is from my friend. And check this out. This is going to be really dorky, but I think it's going to work. This is from my friend Cody, who is known as both LA Car Spotter and, yeah, look at that. LA Car Spotter and LA Watchmakers. If you want to watch, go to Instagram, go to LA Watchmaker. He'll make you up a watch. So this is, it's a turtle. And for a long time, Cody was like, let me make you a watch. Let me make you a watch. And I had no interest in modified Seikos. Then he said, I know you collect Zins. I can put the Zin hands from the U1 on a Seiko. And for some reason, and I remember this very well. I was at work at Motor Trend. I was leaving. I was driving my car in the parking lot. And this watch, the way it sits, just popped into my head. It was one of those weird moments. But I said, I want the orange U1 hands. I want a green waffle dial, although this dial is a little darker than I would have probably thought of. But anyhow, I want a brass case, black bezel, ceramic bezel, and a tuna diving strap. So it all came together. Although this is kind of not the best tuna diving strap. One day I'll get a real tuna strap for it. This is like the step down, even though I think we thought it was a real one. But anyhow, yeah, that's my watch of this week. And without further ado, a whole bunch of questions. All right, let's see here. Okay. Great show, Jonny. Keep it up. Family, 2 adults, 2 teens will take long road trips around the U.S., staying in hotels and with friends. No camping, no off-roading. Driving on highways, scenic routes, and in cities. No need to take corners fast. Need decent-sized trunk, not huge. No less than 300 miles between fills. Need to be very reliable. Up to 10 to 15,000 miles from new. Budget, no real issue, but don't want attention, good or bad. Or worry about where I park the car. Looking for fast, comfortable, quiet. Not fan of SUVs, but will listen to argument. I say new Audi S8. Convince me of something better. Oh, and it has to look good, not great, but good. So no new Beamers. Well, I was going to say, if you're going to get an S8, you might as well get the i7. But I agree, it doesn't look all that good. I see nothing wrong with the S8. That's perfect for what you want. The other vehicle that popped in my head would be like a Mercedes, a GLE or a GLS. They're just phenomenal. He says here, 2 adults, 2 teens. The S8, the rear seat, it's big. It's not cavernous. You seem to have some cash on you. The GLS or the GLE, gonna have similar sized back seats. They're real good. Also an S class would be more comfort than an S8, but I see nothing wrong with an S8. I would say, if you're gonna spend that money, you also look at a Cadillac Blackwing, the CT5V Blackwing specifically. Hey, why not get a manual? Great for long highway drives. And somebody else says RS6. Yeah, I mean, RS6 is just basically a smaller version of the S8. A little more power, similar price. Yeah, RS6 is actually really good for long highway drives. Again, I would argue an M5. Touring is a better vehicle in every aspect, but you don't want a Beamer. So anyhow, I see no problem with your plan, especially if you don't want SUVs. Yes, I know that a Mercedes GLE, GLS are SUVs. They're great. Also the new E-Class is spectacular. I think we're there right now. They have the E53 out. That's the most powerful one, and that's probably the same size as an S8. I don't know the numbers in front of me, but that's also a really good way to go. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, let's see here. Loving the format. Awesome. This is from Adam D. Let me ask you this. Answer below. Do you want me to say your name out loud? His name is Adam D. 4137, or you can just assume it's just a random jumble of meaningless letters on the internet? Let me know. Anyways, he says, question, what would your ultimate 4-car mashup? Pick the body, chassis, engine, transmission, drivetrain, and interior from any 4 cars. That's a very cool question. Oh gosh, well, let's see. I would actually make it a 5 because I want to have a body and then a separate chassis. But okay, pick the body, chassis. We'll go with. Okay, I gotta get away from EVs because of engine and transmission. All right. Body, chassis. Aston Martin Vanquish. I think that's the ultimate body, and the chassis is very good. Engine. I do like that engine. However, I must concede that like the 812 Superfast, that kind of V12 without the turbos is really cool. Although, yeah, I don't know. Aston's really good. But okay, well, just for the sake of the question, the Ferrari V12. Transmission, drivetrain. I think he means transmission, but we'll go with the shift box, the 6-speed manual from the Porsche GT3. Best there is. And then interior. Rolls-Royce Spectre or Phantom. You know what? Scratch that because it's like a 2-ish seater type thing. We'll go with the Bugatti Mistral. That interior. Yes. So let's see. We're gonna have a Vantage body length, Ferrari V12, Porsche manual, and a Bugatti interior. Sounds like the perfect car to me. How about you? Okay, this is Max something. Thank you for answering my question. Like the style of videos and inside kitchen stories. Oh, I just said ask another. Okay. This is from Old Head Boomer. Question for your next episode. If you had one day to play on Angeles Crest Highway, I have many days to do that. Would you rather do it in a 1990s, oh God, one of these questions, 1997 E36 BMW M3, 5-speed Dakar Yellow, I guess that's still the M3, or a 2021 Porsche Carrera 4 PDK and Racing Yellow? Well, that depends, my friend. Do you want to go real fast? If so, yeah, Porsche Carrera 4, although it's not an S. Well, not necessarily the PDK. You'd be whipping ass. Or the E36. Me personally, I think I'd go with the Porsche. Um, but it's really hot today. You're free to go with the BMW. I do like how they're both yellow. Can't go wrong. I'd take the Porsche. Okay, let's see. More stories about me on the next video from John Guzik. Oh boy. I have way too many stories about John. I think John really did once walk up to me at a press launch in Palm Springs and say something like, I've stopped eating the color yellow. I haven't had honey in 8 weeks. So there you go. Let me see. Okay. Mr. Chips asks, with the Neue Klasse, it's BMW Neue Klasse, making its debut in a matter of weeks from this writing, what future is there for the 4 Series Coupe? Will coupe lovers be forced into the 2 Series from now on? Is there even a future for coupes at BMW? I certainly hope so. I've owned 2-door BMWs for 15 years. I would be sad if they go away. Don't know. They've been not necessarily tight-lipped. They've actually shown the Neue Klasse and then the iX3, I think they're calling it or something, but it's the SUV. It's BMW. You got to imagine they don't want to alienate all their customers, and they will continue to do coupes, is my best guess. Okay. Here is from user H211. Can you tell us anything about Porsche's next-gen 911? Nothing. Will it be called the 994? Probably. Are we expecting all hybrid powertrains, including GT3? NA paired with mild hybrid? I know nothing at all about the next 911. You know, they just launched the 991.2, so there's a whole lot more to go through. I know the Turbo S is coming. You know, there's just a lot to get through. So I know nothing. I would imagine in a year's time we'll start seeing some mules running around. But like, you know, the GT2 RS hasn't even been released yet, so still a long way to go. All hybrid powertrains, you gotta imagine the GT3 will figure out a way to stay naturally aspirated, and be a non-hybrid. So I would say the rest of the lineup is probably electrified, and it, you know, honestly, it'll probably make them all better. And GT3 will probably stay, and GT3 RS will stay naturally aspirated, would be my guess. Okay, let's see here. Can I review a 2025 Karma Rivero? No, because they're out of production, and they've already got this new Karma. It's called like the Giselia or something. Saw it at the Quail. Good friends with everyone at Karma, and yes, I'll be getting one soon for review, so stay tuned. Any insight, that's for the same guy, or no, different guy, he's asked a question before. Any insight on the Porsche continuing ICE Cayman and Boxsters? This is that user H211 guy. Insider sources say it's very likely they'll continue ICE engine on the same platform as a fully electric Cayman Boxster. Yeah, Porsche's in a world of hurt right now. I don't know. You know, here's the thing about them. They never sold a lot of Caymans or Boxsters. Like, I think it's like 10-1 911 to Cayman Boxster. So if that dips in sales, does it really hurt them? Like, not that much, you know, because it's kind of like a cut down 911 anyways. Just sell more 911s. So I don't know. You know, no one's driven the electric Cayman Boxster, so I'd like to reserve judgment. That said, it seems that, like, you know, enthusiasts hate EVs, blah, 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 except for the ones that have driven them. But anyhow, so who knows? Yeah, they very well could. That said, can you fit an engine into a battery platform? Like, it depends. I would imagine with the Boxsters, like, they weren't skateboards, meaning the batteries weren't under the driver's feet. They're probably stuffed in the back where the engine was, so maybe you can put an engine there. I don't know. I just don't know. Okay, let's see. If you could let the top car engineers... Oh, this is a good question. This is from Again, Grewhh. Well, what a great name you got there, bro. If you could let the top car engineers from the 1920s and 30s drive any modern cars to show them what technology is like now, what would you show them? Love the vids. Keep making them. Thank you. Okay, that's a great question. Wow. The first two that popped into my head would be the Rivian R1T and the Bugatti Mistral. And what? Well, they're just two cars I happen to like a lot, but they're also engineering masterpieces. Again, you have an open top car that can go 282 miles an hour, but you can hold a normal conversation with the dude sitting next to you at 150 miles an hour, no roof. And it's, again, you can see the road imperfections. You can see the cars in front of you hitting potholes and stuff and bouncing, and you just glide over. Absolutely incredible. And then just the quality of the interior. Well, you know, they had really nice interiors back in the day. So maybe that wouldn't impress them. But yeah, just from an engineering perspective, that thing's madness. And then, yeah, the Rivian, again, it's you can go on the Rubicon Trail, and then you can rip on a canyon road, or it can just be a quiet family vehicle. Yeah, I think that would just blow them away. Absolutely blow them away. Great question. Okay, let's see. Daniel Carlson, 986. Too late for this year's car week, but what are some good, cheap, free to attend events while up there? Well, you know, I was driving around with this guy, Ethan, who helped me out. He filmed a lot of the stuff that I did this weekend. And, you know, he was saying something about traffic. Like he went last year and traffic seems worse this year. And as he's saying that, like two yellow Lamborghini Diablo SVs whip by, a Ferrari F40 gets in front of us, and then we see like Ferdy Porsche driving the Myers Manx Tut Hill let's fucking go thing down the road. And I, you know, I can't remember if I said it to him or just thought it out loud, but I said, you know why you're 23? Because you're stupid. So just driving around is pretty good. I saw a lot of people this year, lots of people, lined up on Carmel Valley Road as we were leaving the Quail, and just looking at all the cars leaving the Quail, which was pretty cool. Including, you know, the cars parked to go to the Quail, which the parking lots are insane. Yeah, just the car spotting is really good. I don't know about free events, but you can definitely, there's like, you know, Legends of the Autobahn, there's that Porsche event, there's Concorso Italiano, there's all the stuff that's like on Broadway, I forget what it's called. You know, there's just lots of good events that are not, I think the Quail was like $1,600, and I don't know, Pebble's probably, I didn't actually ask, but, you know, 400 or 500. So there's some weird bug on me. There's lots to see there. You know, I think Concours de Lemons is still happening. All kinds of new shows. So there's lots to do there if you don't go to the main big things. So let's see. Jonny, this is from Davey, 8641. Davey D or something? Davide? Okay. Jonny, I believe I seen and heard all your podcasts on the most famous channels, and I never heard the German police about the front plate story. Please do tell it here. Oh, that's a great story. I'm going to wipe my brow. It is so hot right now. Even under my big umbrella. Okay. I conned Cadillac into shipping our long-term CTSV wagon to Germany. We were going to try and set a Nürburgring time for station wagons with Johnny O'Connell at the wheel. Before we did that, we were driving around, and one night we're driving, and it's you know, it's raining, it's nighttime, we're going 140 miles an hour, and we get pulled over for not having a front plate because it's Germany. And I say to the cop, oh, sorry, yeah, this car only has one plate. And there's two of them, and I'm outside in the rain talking to them, and one of them says, yeah, but you must have two plates. And I said, but there isn't a front plate. Cars from Michigan, in Michigan, you only get one plate. And he goes, yeah, but you must. And I said, yeah, but listen, officer, like, they never made a second plate. They don't make two plates. They only make one plate. There's only one plate. Yeah, I understand, but you must have two plates to drive in Germany. And I said, but there isn't. And it went on like that. And I finally said something to the effect of, sirs, If you were to search the entire world and look at every single object there is on Earth, you would only find one license plate for this car because there's only one. I'm sorry. And that finally broke them. They said, okay, we understand. And they let me go. But yeah, true story. Again, 140 miles an hour in the rain at night. It's the front plate that'll get you. Jonny Grill Watch, Money No Object, and why the Newman Daytona? Just kidding. I wouldn't want the Newman Daytona. I mean, I would want it, but I'm not. I love Paul Newman. I'm not obsessed with Paul Newman. I don't have pictures of Paul Newman. I really like Cool Hand Luke, and I like the fact he started racing when he was an old fart like me. That said, $80 gazillion for his Daytona, I'm not that interested. For me, I like the Elongensana, the double split or the triple split. I like Chronos. I don't know why I like Chronos. I like Chronos. And that would be like 180 grand for the double split and not much more, I don't think, if they still make the triple split. Yeah, that's probably what I would get. Money No Object. There's also an MB&F. It's just a weird looking watch, as are all their watches. Not my style per se, but it's a double chrono. It literally has two chronographs built in that can be like axled together. And so you can start one process, it spins them both, and then stop one, start the other. It's a very cool watch. It's also 180 grand. So for me, I guess Money No Object means 180 grand or thereabouts. I also like H. Moser made this watch, which is a minute repeater. That means it makes a noise. It chimes. And it looks like the Apple Watch, but it's mechanical. It chimes out the hour and the minute or whatever, but it has no dial. So you look at it, and it just looks like a dead Apple Watch, but it's like a, I don't know, $300,000, $400,000 inside joke. I like that watch a lot. I like H. Moser's a lot. This is from Canonic Games. How much trust with non-public info do you get as a journalist? For example, did you know about the Rivian R3 prior to the reveal last year? Have you seen the R4 and R5 concept designs? Quite a bit. I had a story about the Lexus thing at the Quail, and I do months ago about it. I have a source, a really good source, and my source told me about it, and I told him I'd sit on it, and I did. So yeah, I get some, and you got to be smart with it. Like, I'm in the business to like make some money with the information I get, but also like I don't want to burn my source. I don't want to burn bridges. Does it really matter? R3. I had no idea they were going to show the R3 the day they showed the R3. We knew they were going to show the R2. We knew they had R3 in their plans. That's it. And then they showed the R3 and it blew my mind, and I still want to drive one and buy one and cuddle up with one at night. It looks so cool, especially that R3X. R4 and R5, no, I haven't seen them. I don't even know if they're doing them. The R3 is still a couple years away, so I don't know what R4 and R5 would even be. I have no idea, but generally speaking, yeah, I get all kinds of information. I like breaking info. I broke the news. I had it wrong, but I broke the news like back in 2017, I want to say, that Ferrari was working on a V6 supercar. I thought it was going to be called the Dino, not the 296. Anyhow, okay. Let's see. This is from just some nonsense name. Hey, Jonny, good luck with this podcast. Big question. How bad do you think the depreciation of the new Ferrari 12C Spider will be? Are they really going to make as many of them as they can sell? Or will they stick to the usual residual boosting theory of make one less than demand? I can't wrap my head around how expensive they are. It's either a great buy because it's the last V12, similar to the Tributo for the V8, or it's such a bad buy because it's so expensive and will be heavily supplied. Nothing in the middle. Things only seem expensive to us poors, and until they're not that expensive. I remember when back in the 90s when the W140 Mercedes-Benz S-Class came out, and it was $100,000, and that was just shocking that a Mercedes would cost $100,000 for a new S-Class, and I have $100,000 truck. So I don't think Price and Ferrari, they need to worry about that. Will there be depreciation? I don't know. 12C, I think he means 12 cylindry. I know he means 12 cylindry Spider. I can't imagine a V12 Ferrari would ever depreciate. I also cannot imagine it's the last V12. The demise of the V12 has been greatly exaggerated. I think we're going to have V12s around for a long, long time. Okay. Can you rank, this is from Sam P3, blah, 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 blah. Can you rank these 4 brands in terms of most untapped wasted potential? Jag, Alfa, Maserati, and Lancia. So these were all like kick-ass brands in the 60s. And they're sort of on life support now. Rank them. Most untapped. I mean, Alfa Romeo. I don't know what they need to do. They need new products, but like everybody who's into cars loves Alfa Romeos. The Giulia, I owned one. The Giulia is incredible. The Stelvio is incredible. They should have a two-door, like a real two-door, not the 4C, not the Stradale 33. They should have a real sports car that competes with like the 296 and the Temerario. They just should. Even if it's a little bit less expensive with a little bit less horsepower, beat them on design. Maserati has the MC20. There should be a non-Stradale 33 version of that. And even a front engine one on the Giulia platform would be great, although they got to update the Giulia platform. So that's number 1. Number 2, obviously, is Jaguar. Jaguar needs a sexy sports car. Jaguar needs a big sedan. Jaguar now needs an SUV, and I would even argue a big SUV. F-Pace is nice and all, but they got to go up market. A big, sexy 4-seater, and then a version of it which could be a larger, slightly frumpier looking 6-passenger, 7-passenger, and they'd be good to go. And I think they're going to be doing. They have a new platform. We all saw the car. Actually, the car was at the Quail. I thought it looked fantastic. Really high design. Really, really interesting design on that thing. A lot of people just were like, "Oh, it's ugly," but like they're just reactionary nonsense. In person, it's fantastic. Yeah. So Jag, Maserati. Maserati's more of a tragedy because right now the Grecale, which is based on the Alfa Stelvio, in Trofeo form is like the best handling SUV out there, period. The Gran Turismo is awesome. Cannot stress enough. And I got to drive the electric one, but I hear the electric one's better than the gas one. I love the gas one. MC20 is incredible. They're replacing the sedans, so the Ghibli and the Quattroporte, and I think the oh my God, I'm blanking, but the bigger 4-door. It'll come to me in a second, but that's getting replaced, I believe. But they make great cars and nobody buys them. I mean, like really great cars. Like go buy a Maserati right now. You can probably get them for nothing because they're just not selling. And then Lancia, I mean Lancia was so cool in the 80s. My favorite car at Pebble was this Lancia Extra Lusso, which is my new name, by the way. You can just call me Extra Lusso. Yeah, so great question. I hope all these brands figure it out. One of the problems might be that Stellantis owns 3 of the 4, and Tata owns Jag maybe still. I'm not even sure about that, but Jaguar Land Rover, so I don't know. Depressing question. All right. This is from another guy, user to. This guy's asked like a lot of questions. Is there any upcoming production vehicle, sports car, or supercar that you know details about that excites you? Give us a hint. Yeah, like tons. I mean, you mean that we don't know about yet? I mean, I think everything I knew about that wasn't out yet just got revealed at the Quail. But I'll just say that Gordon Murray F1 tribute, the S1 Le Mans or whatever it's called, that thing rules. 15 million is obnoxious, but that thing rules. Very excited about that. Great video. My question: I'm currently driving a GR86. Good man or woman, because it's from Car Enthusiast 99. I'm thinking of getting a base 2021 to 2023 non Z51 C8, or should I just wait and save for 911, a 991.1 or 2? Thank you. Yeah, get the Corvette, man. You know, I don't know why you want a non Z51. Maybe you know of a deal or something like that. But yeah, Corvette's awesome. I mean, we did this story. I had this friend Connor Golden. He used to work for Automobile, and then when Automobile folded, he worked for Motor Trend for a little bit. And he's a giant Porsche dork. He really, really is. And we did this comparison test with a Cayman GTS and just a C8. I think it was a Z51 C8. And we drove them both, and the C8 just whooped the ass of the little Porsche. Just whooped it, and the roof came off. But like whooped it. Every way a car can whoop another car, including steering. The Corvette's just awesome. And then sat with Connor, and we talked about it. He was writing the story, and we agreed that the Corvette was better. And then I turned my back, and it was the last story he wrote for Motor Trend, and he declared the Porsche the winner because he's a giant Porsche dork, and he didn't have it in him to hand the win to the Chevy. Get the Corvette. That's the compromise. Instead of saving up for the 911, save up for the Z51, or get a slightly used Z06. Thank me later. NC218Y2N. Why did you stop making first look reviews on Motor Trend? They were great. First look? Do you mean the I don't remember doing first look videos. To me, a first look is you see the car, but you don't drive it. So I don't remember ever doing that. If you're talking about like just driving videos, I'm still making some for Motor Trend. It's pretty sporadic. Of course, I started my own channel, so I'm picking up the slack here. When will we see you bend a frying pan? I've done that. Did it on Spike's show, but okay, I'll do that. Let's see. About to order an M2. Torn between manual and automatic transmission. Leaning towards automatic because we'll almost daily drive. Thoughts? Huge fan. Thank you. Poor M2. I think that car is let down by both transmissions. I drove them both. The automatic is just fine. Don't anyone bully you. And, you know, look, only 18% of Americans can even drive a manual anymore. So, you know, if the manual M2 is so wonderful, I would tell you to get it. It's not. So I think you'll be totally happy with the automatic. Sacrilege! I know, but that's the truth. M2 CS, the last gen. Excited about the new gen, which is automatic only, and everyone's sad about it. But drove the last gen M2 CS very extensively. Both the auto, which I think was a dual clutch on that one, and or maybe not. I can't remember. Anyways, it was an automatic versus the manual, and the automatic was definitely better on the M2 CS. So if you're going to buy used. Why don't you think the camo car you saw in the canyons will be a Lexus product? Because it's not. Saw it at the Quail. So long story short, the camo car I saw driving around the canyons showed up at Goodwood, or at least a version of it showed up at Goodwood, and it was called the Toyota GT Concept. And then they had a race car with it, which was called like the Toyota GT Race Car Concept. And then at Pebble was something else. And the thing at Pebble didn't have tailpipes. And it said it was a Lexus Sport Concept, I think they called it. It didn't have tailpipes. Was quite definitely not the same car, just you know, looking at it. So yeah, Lexus has three big coupes coming. Not Lexus, Toyota has three big coupes coming. Lexus, probably be the LFA, looks electric. Probably will wind up being a hybrid, but who knows. That Toyota GT Coupe will, I'm guessing, a $200,000 Toyota is going to be tough for Americans to swallow. They've launched a new brand with Scion. Lexus was a new brand. I think they're going to have a new brand called GR. That's my best guess. This will be the GR GT or GR GT3 or something like that. And then the race car will be a GT3 race car competing against 911s and AMGs and Aston Martins and Ferraris and all that good stuff. So Akio Toyota, thankfully, is still there. Loves racing, loves sports cars. So that's a good thing. Okay, couple more here because I feel like we've already answered a lot of questions. This is from, I think this guy also asked a question, but HH. What do you think is the future for electric cars in the U.S.? Seems like most people don't want them, and Trump is not pushing it. Well, I love how anyway. But it's most likely the future. And how and when do you think EV adoption in America will happen? So the first quarter of this year, 2025, is the most EVs ever sold in America. I will repeat, the first quarter of 2025. Actually, I take that back. I think we have the third quarter numbers. I haven't looked at them yet, but I think the second quarter numbers. I think the second quarter was even better. I got to look it up. I should have read this beforehand. But EV sales going up. Trump. You go to Instagram if you want to see my opinions about that guy. It's inevitable. It is the future. And I was saying this on the Zenvo panel. By 2040 or so, maybe a little 5 years later, 2042, cars will be electric, and there'll be a bunch of V12s for very wealthy people to drive. That's when China's going to be there. China's selling over 1 million EVs a month. In Europe, everything's going to have to be electric soon. You're going to want to go electric. Electricity is everywhere. Oil is dirty, and you got to ship it and refine it and do all this nonsense to it. You plug in electricity. All right. Let's see. Buy back the CTSV wagon from 918. Yeah, I know. I should. Okay. Folks have been saying and asking for you to start a YouTube channel. What or who finally convinced you to do it? It took a while. Motor Trend made me go freelance. I had a really nice contract with Motor Trend. It was great. And they took it away. And I was freelance, and I'm a bad freelancer. So that, and then Rylick Alexander gave me the final push I needed where he said, I will shoot and edit your videos for you. That was it. Okay. And yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. End of the video. If you made it this far, thank you. Ask a question for next week. I will answer it. Like this video. Share this video. Subscribe to my channel. And thank you very much for watching this week's episode of Talking with Jonny. Catch you on the next one. Goodbye.